Most times we don't even come to believe in ourselves. We don't want to stay true to ourselves. The moment something abruptly stops us or tries to cause us to have some type of distraction or any type of hesitation can cause you to have doubt. And that doubt can simply push you out of God's blessing into what He really wants you to be. But if you stand true and stay steadfast within yourself and within Christ, watch how He delivers you. Now let's get to the next episode. Yo, what is good, everybody, man? Hopefully everybody's feeling loved and blessed as always, bruh. Welcome back to another Kids Room podcast episode. Hopefully, this year in 2025, as this is March, it is the third month of the year already. It's already almost over. It's already almost the first quarter of the year, guys. So I hope everybody's just getting excited. I hope everybody is continuing to flourish in this year, continuing to get better week after week. Even if you don't feel as if you are, know that the process and the progress is coming. It is something to fulfill you. God did not want for you to trip and fall and to stay down, but He wanted you to continue to get up over and over and over again, right? And as today and this month is the third month of the year, we're going to go off of Daniel chapter 3. Right, and before I get the verses out, I just want to give a little bit of a backstory on Daniel, right? On the story of Daniel and what part we're going to get on and why it's so important, why we're going to be talking about in today's episode, and why it's so important to stay true to God in 2025. Because whenever you want to stay true to God, He's going to put things in your path for you to stay true in. He's going to do things for you in your life that's going to cause you to have to be true and to truly be yourself and to find out who you truly even are, right? So in today's reading, we're going to get into chapter 3 of Daniel, verses 16 through 19, and also the continuation of 26 through 28. Because there's 3 gentlemen listed in this book, the book as the Bible. And these 3 gentlemen have such faith, such courage within God, that as we read through this, it's going to show that even if, whenever you don't see a way out of it, that there's always going to be a way out. And God, even if you don't see it, if you just believe that God has it, He will. So I'm just going to go and open the book. We're going to start off on verse 16. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego replied to him, King Nebuchadnezzar, we do not need to defend ourselves before you in this matter. If we are thrown into the blazing furnace, the God we serve is able to deliver us from it, and He will deliver us from your majesty's hand. But even if He does not, we want you to know, your majesty, that we will not serve your gods or worship the image of God of gold you have set up. Then Nebuchadnezzar was furious with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and with his attitude toward them changed. He ordered the furnace heated 7 times hotter than usual. Just that first part, that they knew that God would deliver them, and even if He doesn't, so be it. But they knew that in this instance right here, that there's no need to argue, that you don't have to go on your own account for God, that you don't have to go on your own for God, that you don't have to handle everything on your own because you feel as if God's plan isn't working. So let me run my plan. Let me do what I want to do, right? I don't want to listen to the coach, so let me run my plays. But whenever we start to tend to teach the class and not know the subject, you become to be ignorant, arrogant, greedy, lustful, addictive, depression, anxiety. This is whenever you start to leave the presence of God. These things are able to go within inside of you, of your spirit, because now that you are vulnerable to the world and the things that it has in it, and you are vulnerable to the enemy, and as he prowls, that he wants to devour our spirits, that he wants to kill, steal, and destroy in the world, right? Because now it goes on in the rest of what we were going to read in verses 26 through 28, it goes on to say, King Nebuchadnezzar then approached the opening of the blazing furnace and shouted, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, servants of the Most High God, come out, come here. So Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came out of the fire, and the satraps, prefects, governors, and royal advisors crowded around them. They saw that the fire had not harmed their bodies, nor was a hair on their heads singed. Their robes were not scorched, and there was no smell of fire on them. Then Nebuchadnezzar said, Praise be to the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who has sent his angel and rescued his servants. They trusted in him and defied the king's command, and were willing to give up their lives rather than serve or worship any god except their own God. Self-explanatory. Just goes on to say that whenever you have a vision or a dream or anything in your life and anything that stands before you, that you have to stay true to yourself, that you have to remember your why and what's the reason, right? In the book of Daniel, we go on the show right there that the three men defied the king's command and said, we're not gonna worship your idol. I'm not going to worship somebody else's dream. I'm not going to worship this career. I'm not going to worship the money that's given to me. I'm not going to worship the relationships that I have on this planet. You cannot have idols on this earth. If you have idols other than Christ, then Christ is not number one. When Christ isn't number one, things are going to become out of hand. Things will become imbalanced because Christ is not in the middle of everything. If Christ is in the middle of everything, Christ will start to put things into standard, will start to give you standards to put things into place so then you can live a better life, right? Or maybe you can suffer in a different way. We all suffer though. Even if you don't believe in God, you still suffer. We still go through things individually, right? So we have to see as if the book of Daniel and what I just read, 6 verses, just to explain. When you want to go and do something in life, you should just go and do it. Go achieve it. And if someone wants to say you might die on this hill, you might not make it out, so be it. Because God is going to deliver you for it. God is going to bring you through the furnace. And it will seem as if you were not scorched. You were not singed. You were not put under pressure. Right? Because that's all things on the outside that people see. But God knows what happens in your heart. And whenever he works things in your heart, those are the things that's going to matter. Those are the things that's intangible. Those are the things that's working, that you want to sow the seeds for in the kingdom. Because then that's what's going to bring us to tranquility in life, prosperity in life, and the plans that God truly has. And that's all I got for y'all today, man. Be blessed, be loved, all purpose. Like, share, subscribe. I appreciate y'all for tapping in with me in this episode, bruh. And I hope y'all catch me on the next one.